Welcome back to our PyTest video tutorial series. Let's get stuck in to fixtures. First, let's check. We have our code on the left, our test on the right, and our run tool window at the bottom. Let's make sure that our tests are auto-running. We can make a change that's going to break one of our tests, check that the test now fails, and fix the test, and check that the test auto-runs and passes, which it does. Perfect. PyTest fixtures are all about improving the readability of your code and reducing the duplication of your code. Let's add our first one now. We'll call it player _1 and it's going to return a player, of course. Note that PyCharm handles our imports here for PyTest. Next, we need to refactor our test to use this fixture rather than each test creating its own instance of player. You can use Shift and F6 to rename P to player _1 so that all the other instances in our test update as well. However, we'll get an error here, rightly, because we don't want to use this local player. So we're going to use Command and X or Control and X to delete that line. PyCharm has underlined player _1 because it's not sure what it is. Let's use Alt and Enter or Option and Enter and choose to add the fixture to test the function parameters. And finally, check that our tests still run. Perfect. So far so good. Let's continue to refactor the remaining tests in this file to use the player _1 fixture. Same again, let's use Shift and F6 to rename P to player _1 in test_add_guardian, then delete the line that creates the player locally and ask PyCharm to use the fixture. Let's repeat these steps for our final tests and then check that they're all still passing. That was the fixture for players, but what about one for guardians? Let's create that now, using a list of guardians in the same test file. We then need to go through a similar process as before with the refactor. First, let's rename our assignments here to guardian_list at position 0, and we're going to see this error here from PyCharm, which is absolutely correct, but we're just doing it to update our other usages, and then we're going to delete this line with Control and X or Command and X. Let's use Alt and Enter or Option and Enter and choose to add the fixture to test the function parameters. And of course, check that all our tests are passing. Great. Let's finish up the refactoring for this fixture in this file by adding the guardians fixture to our final tests. Same again, Shift and F6 to rename the variable and its instances, and then delete the line because we don't need it anymore, and use Alt and Enter or Option and Enter to bring in the fixture for both test_add_guardians and test_primary guardian. Of course, all our tests still pass. Time to switch over to our guardians tests and add the same fixture. Let's paste the same fixture here, and again we'll get PyCharm to handle the import for us. Now we can refactor test_construction to remove the local definition of a guardian and use the fixture in the same way as before. Now, I'm sure you have noticed that I explicitly said PyTest fixtures were designed to help you reduce duplication. And now we have duplication. Let's fix that next. Let's select both our fixtures from the player test file, and then we can use Search Everywhere, which is Shift and search for move. We'll call the new file conftest.py, and we'll select the root of our project rather than our tests directory. PyCharm handles all our imports for us in this new conftest.py file, deletes the fixtures from our player test file, and it removes the unused imports. Perfect. However, we do still need to remove the fixture from our guardian test file, and we can get rid of our unused imports with optimize imports, which is Control Option and O on Mac or Control Alt and O on Windows. Now we have eliminated duplication and our tests are easier to reason about. Before I leave you, this is your annual reminder that naming is hard. Guardians _list is not the best name that I could have used for this fixture. I'm going to rename it to all _guardians. We can even do that from a usage like here. Refactor rename again, so Shift and F6. When you press that twice, you'll get all the options like you can see here. I'm going to call it all _guardians, and then I'm going to click Preview. Now I can get a preview of which files and code specifically the refactor will change. I'm going to go ahead and do that refactor, and I can see that it's changed all my usages and the fixture itself. Also, top tip, if you hold down Command and click or Alt on Windows and click, you can toggle between your usages and your definition. PyTest fixtures are great for improving the readability of your tests and reducing duplication in your code. They are particularly helpful in the setup and teardown of your test suite. If you would like more information, you can check out the official PyTest documentation. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel so you get notifications of more PyTest in PyCharm content. And you can check out this QR code to view more PyTest resources on our JetBrains guide.